Hello everyone. My name is Morteza. I am a registered nutritionist specialized in type 2 diabetes based here in Germany. Today I want to share with you 4 major mistakes you need to avoid if you have type 2 diabetes and you want to cure it naturally and permanently by means of diet and lifestyle. But before I get into it, I want to emphasize that whatever I state in this video is scientifically supported, and it's not my opinion. It's evidence-based, and I will put the scientific references in the description below. Okay, let's get into it. Look, in previous videos, I already explained what is the root cause of type 2 diabetes. Please, I suggest you watch those videos if you really want to know what is the driving force behind type 2 diabetes. But now, very short, I say again, the very cause of type 2 diabetes is insulin resistance. That means the insulin receptors on the cell membranes don't respond to insulin signals and don't take up the sugar out of the blood into the cells. So, and what causes the insulin resistance is chronically elevated insulin levels. Simply put, too much insulin all the time. That means if you want to reverse, to cure type 2 diabetes naturally and permanently, all you need is to reduce the use and demand for insulin. Just to reduce, to cut back the consumption of insulin. Because the cause of type 2 diabetes is too much insulin. So, now let's see what causes too much insulin, like chronically elevated insulin levels. And you need to avoid those mistakes in order to reverse type 2 diabetes. The first and foremost one is eating these kind of oils, seeds oils, so-called vegetable oils. These oils are heavily processed, and they are extremely inflammatory, and we have an ample scientific studies that prove these oils cause insulin resistance. You really, believe me, from my own experience, and after 10 years, like intensive research in the scientific literature, I suggest you to avoid strictly these kind of oils if you want to cure type 2 diabetes. Just stay away from any kind of seeds oils, vegetable oils, these kind of like the canola oils or sunflower oils, or you can name it. By the way, one more thing about these oils is that they are hidden in all these processed junk foods and snacks and sweets from supermarket. So you really need to stay away from those kind of food if you want to avoid this kind of seeds oil. Yes, this is very important because simply they cause insulin resistance. So the number 2 mistake for the lots of patients of type 2 diabetes to do, and the doctors and nutritionists I actually recommend always is eating 6 times or more carbohydrate a day. This is a huge mistake. Eating 6 times carbohydrate a day or 7, 8, 9 times, it keeps your insulin levels elevated all the time. It causes the body produce too much insulin. So look, the simple reality is when you eat 1 time, you need 1 time insulin. When you eat 7 times, you need 7 times insulin. And every time the pancreas spikes insulin, the insulin level stay elevated for hours and hours. When you eat, for example, let's say a night in front of the TV, like TV dinner, then the scientific studies show that your insulin level stay elevated for 7, 8, up to 9 hours. When you eat like 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day, like your insulin levels are high all the time, and that makes you insulin resistant. The more insulin, the higher is insulin resistant. The worse is insulin resistance. So if you want to become insulin sensitive again, you need to eat twice a day, maximum twice a day. That is where we talk about intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is the best and most effective strategy to reverse type 2 diabetes because it lowers your demand and use of insulin. Eat maximum twice a day. So you cut off the insulin levels. The third major mistakes that patients of type 2 diabetes can do is to eat carbohydrates as macronutrients. You know, we have 3 macros, carbohydrates, protein, and fat. When you eat carbohydrates, and especially refined carbohydrates, these empty calories, is in all junk foods and processed foods and TV dinner and midnight snacks and other kind of snacks and sweets from, I don't know, supermarkets and soft drinks, even protein bars, and you can name it, which also contains this kind of hydrogenated oils and trans fats. They demand a lot of insulin. When you eat carbohydrate, your body, your pancreas, just spike a huge amount insulin to regulate that refined carbohydrate, which turns into the sugar, into the glucose in your blood. And that makes you insulin resistant because the levels of insulin stays high all the time. So if you want to reverse type 2 diabetes, you have to eat, instead of carbohydrate, you have to eat protein and fat. When you eat protein and fat, you need just a little bit of insulin to regulate those metabolites. So I strongly recommend to change your macros from carbohydrates to protein and fat. By the way, when you eat protein and fat, you become satisfied, you become full, you are satiated, and short after eating, you don't eat again to be in need of insulin again. When you eat carbohydrates, your sugar skyrockets, and insulin comes, your sugar get down and you become hungry again and you eat again. But when you eat protein and fat, and especially protein and fat from animals, you are satiated. You are satisfied for next 5-6 hours, and you don't want to eat again. In this manner, you just keep the levels of insulin down and you become insulin sensitive. Look, when your insulin levels are all the time elevated, insulin is a like the anabolic hormone. It's a hormone to save energy for the time we are not eating. Insulin always turn the sugar into fat and store it. And at the same time, insulin doesn't allow liver to burn fat. Insulin inhibits lipolysis. So when your insulin is high, the liver cannot burn fat. But when you eat only twice a day and you eat only protein and fat, your sugar and your insulin level are down, and the liver has to burn fat for energy supply. And that simple fact makes you insulin sensitive and cure type 2 diabetes. Good. The fourth mistake the people with type 2 diabetes do is being sedentary. This is really very simple. Look, it goes like this. When you, just let's say you eat dinner, and then after dinner you sit on the couch and watch TV. It demands lots of insulin to metabolize that sugar. But when you, after dinner, after eating, you go out for walking, you have some activity whatsoever, playing with your kids or cleaning up the room, the cells suck the sugar out of the blood with a little bit of insulin. When you move, you need significantly less insulin for that sugar being metabolized. That is why you always want to move a lot in order to reduce the demand for insulin. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please press that like button and subscription that I don't miss the future videos. See you next time.